Drawing with ink can be a lot of fun, especially if you add in a little chaos. And it's even more fun when you add some googly eyes. But more on that later. So we're going to be working with ink splatters. But first I wanted to give you a quick tip. If you're using something like ink or watercolor water or paint and you have an inclined desk and it slides around, put some tape on the bottom of your bottle or container and it will not slide. Masking tape, artist tape, something like that. Now we're going to get started. So first we need to get some ink with a dropper, and I'm randomly going to dribble ink along the paper. Doesn't really matter where you put it. The whole point of this is to embrace some randomness. Now, this monstrosity here is a pump for pool inflatables. You can also use a straw or an air can, that, the type of thing that cleans off keyboards and things like that. Now this is where it gets a little fun. You get to spray the ink around with the air, whether it's with the pump or the spray can or a straw. And you get some really interesting effects. And from that, you'll be able to come up with, well, something. We'll see. I'm not going to show you the whole drawing process because surprisingly, it's not that nail-bitingly dramatic or interesting to watch. So from there, we're just going to turn our paper around and find which side looks the most interesting. I ended up with this. I was thinking that top part there could be a head, and we could play with that. So I picked out my Micron pen, and I used that to join some lines and shapes. So I have a bit of a starting point. That right there could be a leg, an arm, maybe a finger. Who knows? Could be nothing. And here is a little technique that I came up with. I kind of make disembodied finger bones or wing bones. I just found that it adds a little bit of visual interest. Who knows, you might come up with something on your own. This is just something that I came up with after having done about 100 of these. There's that zebra pen that I love so much, and I'm using that to add some line work, definition, more of those bones or some sort of extremities. Something fun. Yeah, it's your time to just mess around with what's there, the lines, and add to them and see if you can come up with something that you're satisfied with, something that's a little bit interesting. Could be a monster, could be an animal, could be a creature. This is where the googly eyes come in. If it's something like this, a creature, monster, person, or whatever, it needs some eyes. And I just found that googly eyes on something that is maybe monstrous or something adds a lot of fun. There's that jelly roll pen that I showed you in the last video. I really enjoyed this on ink. It's nice and opaque. It doesn't dry too quickly. It doesn't end up tacky. And it works great for things like bones or teeth or texture. It's a great contrast for the black ink. You never know what you're going to come up with. Could be something that starts watching you back and staring into your soul. Something that knows your thoughts and everything that you're feeling guilty about, or your deepest, darkest secrets, and those eyes that keep staring and watching. And anyways, where was I? Okay, so we're going back and working on some more of these little details and stuff like that. you know, just trying to keep it fun, because that's really what this is. It's about finding things in the splatters and whatnot. Kind of like when you mentioned this in the last video as well, when you look at clouds, it's a bit of the imagination and that bit of electric fun that you get from when you see something in something and you can create something that wasn't there before. Yeah, so just working my way around there. I'm looking at that big white area on that leg or finger or whatever that is, and I know I want to do something with it, but I'm not quite sure yet what it's going to be. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not supposed to be realistic. It's just supposed to be visually interesting, and it's a way to prove to yourself that you can create something original. So I kind of decided to add some texture, some roundness to that flat white area. You can do that so many different ways. There's really no way to do this wrong. Remind yourself of that. You can't get this wrong. And that will allow you to free yourself up and create unexpected things. If you take the pressure off yourself, then you can do so much more, I believe. So here we are. We're kind of winding down, I think. Finalizing that little white area there. Yeah, I think this guy's turning out pretty cool. This is a technique that I use often. Like I said, I've done over 100 of these. Some worked, some didn't. But all in all, I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to have a good time when I do this. And I'm more confident in what I can do afterwards. There's the stuff that I use, the ink, the googly eyes, the pens. Everything's in the description below except the paper towels. That was exciting. Anyways, yeah, I encourage you to give this a shot. Have some fun. Remember to wash your hands afterwards, and I'll see you next time.